So who did I vote for? Hi, welcome to Lonneke Talks Politics. I decided to record my video in English so more people can actually understand what I'm talking about. The past videos, however, are in Dutch, but they do have English subtitles, just so you know. The Dutch elections happened March 15, 2017, and they were quite crazy. I do not know what to think of it, but I'm going to explain to you how the system works in the Netherlands, who won, who lost, and who I voted for in the end. First of all, the Dutch parliament consists of two chambers. The Eerste Kamer, the first chamber, which is the Senate, and the Tweede Kamer, the second chamber, which is the House of Representatives. These elections were for the House of Representatives. The House of Representatives has 150 seats. They are filled by members of different parties. The goal of each party is to reach 76 seats, which is a majority, so they can govern. But with the Dutch system, as we have a lot of parties, it's very difficult to reach 76 seats, and therefore we form coalitions between one or two parties, or even more parties. The last elections in the last years, we had a coalition between PVDA and the VVD. The VVD was the biggest, so they could choose the Prime Minister, Mark Rutte. These elections a lot changed. First of all, the coalition of PVDA and VVD lost about half of their seats, so they cannot govern anymore. But Mark Rutte is still going to be the minister-president, the Prime Minister. His party, VVD, lost about 25% of seats, but they are still the biggest. PVDA, on the other hand, lost so many seats, about 2/3, that they're very small right now. A lot of other parties took the place of PVDA, and many of them have about 19 or 20 seats. This means that the next coalition will be between VVD and at least two other, and maybe 3 or 4 other parties. All the parties are together now to try to see which way they can form a coalition, but as you might understand, the more parties involved, the harder it gets to govern, and the more chance is that there will be a breakup sooner than the next elections. So I am really gonna just wait and see what coalition it will be. A lot of parties lost seats, a lot of parties won seats. We have a few parties that get into the House of Representatives for the first time. We have people that have to leave because their party didn't get enough seats. So in Holland we would say it's a stoelendans, a dance of seats. I'm going to give you a list of what the next House of Representatives will look like and how many parties there are and how many seats they got. I thought that the PVV of Geert Wilders would win more seats, but it seems that people decided to choose a more safe route and many voted for Mark Rutte. Also, we had a little issue with Turkey happening just before the elections, and I think that changed a lot of people's votes. On the other hand, you see that a lot of people that used to vote for PVV went to other smaller parties. But overall, you can say that the right is still bigger than the left, even though the left with GroenLinks won a lot of seats. There's also a lot of parties in the left that did not win any seats or even lost seats, like the PVDA and the SP. I know there's a lot of parties I'm talking about, but the most important thing to know is that Mark Rutte will be our Prime Minister and that the VVD will form a coalition with 2 or 3 other parties. So who did I vote for? Well, like I said before, I live in America and I had to register to vote. This was very difficult, like I told you in my previous video, but I managed to register in time. And I had to wait for my orange envelope so I could send in my vote. This envelope took forever to reach me, and it just came to me in a nick of time. I only had a few days that I could send in my vote, and because it was such a time crunch, the only option for me was to bring it to the Dutch consulate in New York City, which I did. So I managed to vote in time. I had 5 parties and 5 individual people that I felt strongly about. I decided that the Party for the Animals, the Partij voor Dieren, was going to get a lot of votes anyway, so I did not decide to vote for them. Then I had the other 2 parties, that the VNL and Pirate Party, they were up for 1 seat, and I felt that they were probably not gonna get it, and I didn't feel as strong about them as I felt about others, so I also crossed them out. What was left was Eelco Keij of D66. Like I said, he fights for Dutch expats abroad because the Netherlands does not take good care of Dutch people abroad. It's very important and personal to me. And Forum voor Democratie of Thierry Baudet, which is a new party, and I really like their plans. So we're up to 2. Until the last moment, I waited to decide, and I was going back and forth. I talked to my family, and I realized a lot of people were already going to vote for D66, and they told me they were going to vote for Eelco Keij. In the end, my family and I, we split our votes, and half of them went to Eelco Keij and the other half went to Thierry Baudet. So in the end, I personally voted for Thierry Baudet. I'm happy because my vote counted and he now has 2 seats in the Tweede Kamer, which he didn't have before. I felt like my vote was very useful. On the other hand, Eelco Keij did not get enough preference votes for D66, so he will not get into government. The reason in the end why I didn't vote for D66 myself is I do not like some of their ideas of open borders. I think we should be sane and wise and think about what we're going to do and protect our country. So even though I like Eelco Keij, I did not like D66. Eelco Keij told me he's going to work on a non-political party that will fight for all Dutch expats' rights. In the end, I feel like I won both ways. For me, this was a really good experience, and I really wish Forum voor Democratie, but everybody else that was elected, a lot of good luck. And I hope that they will do the best for the Netherlands, because it's an amazing country. It's small, but it's huge in a lot of ways. The feeling I have with the elections is that everybody won a little bit, lost a little bit, but it wasn't like one crazy big win or one big winner. It's kind of a little bit like a status quo with a little bit of new influence that will bring new light in the future that we have to watch. I think we should watch DENK, which is a party, more a Turkish movement. A lot of Muslim people voted for them. They have 3 seats in the parliament. And I think we should also watch Forum voor Democratie. I think they're going to be big. And GroenLinks, I think, with Klaver will win a little bit. And of course, Party for the Animals, Partij voor Dieren, will be doing well in the future. So that's what I think. I'm really happy the elections are over. The 2 countries that are bonded with me the most, America on one side and the Netherlands on the other side, both now know what their next 4 years will look like. America has President Trump. He's doing well as far as I can see. And the Netherlands has Mark Rutte again. After 8 years, 4 more years, Mark Rutte. So I think America is going to have more changes than the Netherlands. The Netherlands will be not experiencing too much craziness, which a lot of people like, and other people are like, oh, damn it, we could have made a change. So these 4 years, we know what we're going to get, and we're going to have to work with it. So let's see what happens. I just wonder what you think. Let me know. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.